Hey there, and welcome to Inside Butler Football. I'm your host, JoJo Gentry. The Bulldogs are looking to stay strong for the rest of PFL play after gaining a come-from-behind victory against Dayton last Saturday, winning 33-30. We'll be joined by Butler head football coach Jeff Forrest to talk about last week's game and to take a look at the games ahead. Stay with us on Inside Butler Football. Coach Forrest, thank you so much for being in the studio today.
Good to be back with you.
Thank you. So first of all, this game was like a tale of two halves. The Flyers led Butler 27-13 in the first half, but in the second half, Butler outscored them 20-3. So what was the difference from the first half to the second?
Well, I mean, they started out, we were kind of a step behind there at the start, and they got a lead, and you're kind of snowballing the wrong way. The big thing for us was to stop before the half and then that drive right at the end of the half to get it back to a two-score game, because then you could go in at halftime and take a deep breath, make some adjustments. Everyone knew the game was where you could still get back in it. So that was huge to get that stop and that late score, and everyone kind of settled down and changed some things. And we just played better. We played faster. We played with more passion, and it turned out the way we wanted it to.
And Matt Lancaster was co-offensive player of the week. Can you talk about how his performance this week contributed to this honor?
Well, he had a great game. There's no question that we rely on him a lot. He played a lot. He missed the one game in the middle of the year, and he played a lot better this week than maybe he did coming off the injury. He's just so important to what we do. He makes everything go. He gets us in the right plays, and people spend so much time trying to defend him that our pass game and our running game come open because of the time and energy they spend on him. He made plays both with his feet and with his arm. Naturally, he had great protection and guys running routes, and it was a team effort. But he made some outstanding football plays.
And the Butler defense held the Flyer offense to only 2 of 11 on third down efficiencies. And Butler also had 20 more plays than the Flyers. So can you talk about how the defense was able to accomplish this? Well,
we've been really good on third down, especially in the league. It was an emphasis from the spring, and we didn't necessarily play that well on third down situations in the non-conference schedule. And the defensive staff has done a great job. The players are committed to getting off the field and getting the offensive opportunities. It was outstanding. The two of them, one of them was a scramble type run that they got good players too and make plays. So you tip your hat to the defense, especially in the second half. My goodness, they just kept getting us the ball back, and that was critical. Because we were at a point where we couldn't exchange scores. We needed to make up some ground, and defensively we really played well and made that a possibility.
And this was the biggest come-from-behind victory for the Dogs this season. So how should the team convert this momentum to the last 2 games of the season?
Well, I think you enjoy the victories. It's hard to win. Every week half the teams lose, and it's hard to win college football games, especially in our league that's so competitive that you got to play 60 minutes and be ready to go. So you enjoy it. You learn from it and move on. That's the biggest thing. What are some lessons you can take from that game? Just like we took lessons from the San Diego game. We played better at 27-6 this week than we did out at San Diego under similar situations. So if you can learn some things, you can move forward, but then you got to go back and start all over, because every week you're going to be in a battle. Every week you got teams that are capable of beating you, that have players that can make plays, that are well coached. So you better go back and preparation is what you hang your hat on. You win games on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and are we willing to go back to work and win today? And we have no idea what Valpo's doing today. So we got to put our best effort out there, and that's why it's important to have find a group of guys that are best effort guys that are going to be passionate about their work week.
Coach Forrest, let's take a look at a few highlights.
Sure.
This is a touchdown pass from Matt Lancaster to tight end Zach Wolf late in the third quarter to cut the lead to 4 points. So how was Wolf able to bring down this pass?
Well, he wasn't the primary target on the play, It was designed to go to the other side of the field, and that's one of the things we were talking earlier about Matt Lancaster. He can turn some bad situations into positive plays with his ability to move in the pocket. He gets initial protection. They take away the primary read, and he's able to move out to his left. And then it really turns into a scramble drill. Everyone has rules at the point when the quarterback starts to run and areas on the field they try to get to, and Matt and Zach are on the same page there, thank goodness.
And the second highlight is a trick play. Matt Lancaster pitches the ball to wide receiver Tom Judge, then Matt slips out of the backfield on a pass route, and Tom throws the ball back to him. This was a crucial third down conversion to keep the drive alive, and eventually led to a touchdown, which was Butler's first lead of the day. Could you talk more about this play?
Well, I mean, in our playbook, it's not a trick play. I mean, this is base offense stuff for us. We have a handful of deceptive plays that we like to use. The key to running these type of plays is to get them game planned in the correct situation that you're going to get a defensive look that'll allow the play to be successful. So we practice this. It's a heck of a catch. There's no question. The tough part is Tom, who hasn't, he doesn't throw the ball, every down like Matt does. So to be able to, on one shot, to be able to hit this thing, it's a heck of a throw, and Matt does a great job. And, like you said, it was a huge conversion for us that kept a drive going.
The next play is a sack by Christian Ebel that was recovered and returned 22 yards by Zach Sedevy, which led to the game-winning field goal by John Treeler. Talk about how important this play was in the game.
Well, there's no question. I mean, you're in a late game situation where the balance of the outcome is up in the air. And our guys did a great job, all half defensively, but when they had to move it there at the end, and you get them one-dimensional, and they're going to have to throw it. I mean, we're pretty good up front, and they got after him and knocked it loose. Not only got the sack, but the sack fumble, and Zach does a nice job of scooping and advancing it, another 20-some yards that help field position.
And the last play was a game-winning tackle by Jimmy Schwabe. Coach, talk about the situation going into this play and the importance of this tackle.
Well, I mean, you're up 3 at the end, and this happened to be the 4th down play. At this point, the clock's ticking, they're out of timeouts. You're trying to keep them in bounds. And naturally, on this one, a 4th down, you're trying to keep them in front of the sticks, and that's what Jimmy does. I mean, he's got to defend the length of the field, but that ball thrown in the flat, he was aggressive, stuck his foot in the ground, and came up and tackled him short of the first down marker, and game over at that point. Without them having timeouts left, we're able to kneel on the ball.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your input.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back to Get to Know Your Bulldogs. We bring in upperclassmen to talk about their time within the Butler football program. This week, we have senior offensive lineman Doug Petty. Doug, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
So first of all, you're from Indy. So
Yes,
tell
ma'am.
us a little bit about your background growing up.
I actually grew up about 35, 40 minutes south here in Southport, Indiana. It's a good childhood. My parents always provided for me really well, and I have 2 big brothers that actually beat me up a lot. But I mean, in the end, it kind of helped me out because it made me a little bigger and stronger than most people. So, it was a good childhood. So, I guess I started playing football when I was in 3rd grade. I had to switch sports because I was too aggressive in soccer and basketball, so they kicked me out a couple games. So I found my calling in football, and ever since then, just love the sport, and it's kind of how I grew up playing the game.
And you attended Southport High School.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell us a little bit about your academic and athletic experiences like in high school.
Academically, never really struggled. I always seemed to get good grades without really trying really hard, and that actually came back to bite me later on in my college career. But I had a lot of really good teachers growing up. Actually, the reason why I'm a biology major is because of one of my teachers in high school. He was a really awesome science teacher that kind of led me to want to pursue a career in sciences. And I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with what I'm going to do in the field, but I know that's what I want to do. My experience as a football player in high school, unfortunately, my high school was never really that good at football until my senior year. It actually took, my senior year was the first winning record we had in 20 years. So it was actually kind of nice to go out on a high note. We ended up winning conference my senior year. Didn't actually go very far in sectionals, but it was pretty nice to win conference and give something back to the school. So.
And what makes Butler stand out from the other schools you looked at coming out of high school?
I mean, Butler really has like that family feel, especially with Coach Voris. He's real good at like letting you know that you're a part of something bigger and that you're a part of like a big family. The guys here are great. I mean, but basically just like having like 100 brothers. It's awesome. And I mean, it's nice to have a place, at least for me, in my experience, the place that it stood out because it's somewhere that wanted me. I mean, a lot of places they looked at me. I was roughly about 220 coming into college, and I was an offensive lineman, and most places were kind of joking about how small I was and didn't think I would ever account to anything on a football team as an offensive lineman. So it was nice. I think that was the deciding factor for me, is having somewhere that actually wanted me to play for them and thought pretty that I could do something for them. So.
And as a fifth year, what has been your most memorable experience here at Butler so far?
It's a really tough question. Probably on the field would be the Jacksonville game from last year, or because it was everybody will say it was Matt Lancaster who ran in, but I'm gonna say that it was the offensive lineman who helped him in there. But just kidding. He made a great play on that. But this year, I would have to say the last game against Dayton was one of my most memorable games and memories at this school, well, at least for football. And then off the field would probably be hanging out with the offensive linemen at my house for dinner on Thursdays. Or Thursdays and Fridays, our pregame meal. It's a good time to hang out with those guys.
And what's one thing you'll take away from the program after you graduate?
I think I would have to go with I guess, never lose faith in yourself or in the people around you, because even when things look bleak, you can do things if you set your mind to it. So.
And as you get ready to exit the Butler football program, what kinds of advice would you give to underclassmen or incoming students looking at Butler?
I'm actually going to have to use the last answer for that too. In my experience, at least, keeping faith in yourself and your teammates has been one of the most rewarding things for me. Unfortunately, it was my sophomore to junior year, I tore my pec, and things were looking pretty bleak that I was never going to play, at least here, because I was struggling to get on the field for my first 3 years here. And just keeping faith in myself and that I can do this really helped out, and in the end it worked out pretty well. And having faith in my teammates, we've done some pretty amazing things the last couple of years.
Well, Doug, thank you so much for coming in the studio today.
Thank you.
So this week the Dogs face Valparaiso in a Hoosier helmet game. Can you explain the origins of this game?
Well, I mean, we've been playing Valpo for years and years and years, and when I arrived in 2006, Coach Adams at Valpo and I talked about, at the time we were the only two schools in the PFL that had the same bordered, were from the same state. So, you know, there's so much history and tradition in college football on rivalry games and trophies being passed back and forth. You know, we thought it would be a good idea to add a trophy to this game, and the administrations agreed, and we created a helmet that was labeled the Hoosier helmet that gets passed back and forth between the winner. You know, just a symbol of the great history and tradition the two schools have had in football.
And Valpo is 1-5 in the PFL. So have they installed any new plays or made any adjustments with regards to their offense or defense?
Well, I don't think it really doesn't matter who you are at this point. It's not about plays. I mean, they have a very sound scheme, and they do what they do very well. And they have good players that are capable of making plays. They've been very close. They're close every game. There's a play, 2 or 3, that if they went the other way, their record could be something a lot different. So I don't think they're up there cooking up new plays. I think they're going to do their deal. They believe in what they do. They're going to come out ready, prepared, and ready to play. And we're going to have to play as well as we've played all year to be successful.
So Valpo is ranked 3rd in the PFL for passing offense, while Butler is ranked 8th. So what have you seen in the Crusaders this season that the Dogs should prepare for this week?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, they're going to do what they do. Rankings are like records. I mean, we're both 0-0 this week, and we're going to line up at 1 o'clock on Saturday and play. They throw the football. That's what they do. They're really good at it. They have a great scheme, and they coach it well. So we got to prepare for that. And but you defend the pass the same way you defend the run, with 11 guys getting in their gap, playing their assignment, doing their job, playing at great speed. I mean, so it's a week of preparation to understand tendencies and what they like to do, find matchups, and scouting report on who their players are, and you go out and you play on Saturday. That's the fun part. The work's done, in getting there. So they're going to throw it, and we got to be ready to defend it. We need 11 guys doing their job on every snap to get that done.
Well, Coach Morris, thank you so much for being in the studio today.
Appreciate being here.
And thank you for watching Inside Butler Football. I'm JoJo Gentry. Have a great week, Bulldog fans.